How's it going, everybody? EastPhilly here, talking about a conversation or topic. That's what it is, from Reddit. So you know it's going to be full of poopy. So I saw this topic on Reddit, and I didn't actually read it, so that's probably something bad. But the headline was that more millennials are spending money on experiences than diamonds. It's a, that's pretty much why I didn't read it. It's a shitty headline for probably a topic that they could have made a much better headline. What I take away from this is younger people are starting to spend their money on experiences like trips, vacations, things that they're physically doing than buying things. And I guess people would consider me a millennial. I'm 27 years old. I was born in '89, but I kind of disagree with that idea. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love to take trips and do all that stuff. I'd love to visit like Sweden and Norway, Australia, Japan, all that kind of fun stuff. But I wouldn't put that over. I wouldn't even say put that over buying things. I just wouldn't put that over spending my money on something practical and functional that isn't just a one-time thing, so to say. So what I mean with all this is, say you plan a trip out. You're gonna fly to Japan, you're gonna spend a week there, and you're gonna fly back, and you might buy a few knickknacks and this and that, and the experience would be totally cool. You get to visit another country, you get to learn about their culture, though pretty short, and that experience would be amazing. I wouldn't say it wouldn't be. But with that same money, I could buy something that I'm going to use every day for more than a week. I could buy something that makes my life easier. I could buy something that helps me make more money so that I could do more things that benefit me. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Personally, I believe I own too much things. I definitely have things that have no practical or any functional purpose besides kind of like decoration or just having it. The value isn't anything. I'm not going to get more out of it than I paid for it at any point. It's not going to give me any functional value in terms of making my life easier. And in a sense, it's a waste of money. But I don't buy things like that cost a lot of money either. And this could also play into the idea of you get what you pay for. I don't necessarily believe that's true. For my personal preferences or purposes, I could get just as much use and ease of use and all that out of a $10,000 car as I did my car, which I think was $18,000. But I also wanted a certified used and have all the warranty and stuff. So that was my choice on that, but that's a different topic. So back to the actual topic, I think that sometimes there's better things to spend money on than an experience. And there's also a bit of crossover and all that. You can spend money on experiences that are useful. Rock climbing classes, going on hiking trips, things that get you healthy and get you outdoors. I would rather spend money to go, I don't know, in the Midwest or Pacific Northwest or whatever, and go hiking and do rock climbing trips than I would just going to Japan just to go on a tour and look at stuff. So the type of trip does matter. Being physical and putting yourself into the trip, like hiking and camping and all that, I believe you get a lot more out of that than just going somewhere and going on a tour, because you're actually physically being a part of that trip. And that kind of fits into the technical headline of it, that people are spending more money on experiences and things like diamonds. Diamonds have no practical value besides being shiny. They used to have value in terms of you could buy it and you could use it for trade, or it was actually worth something. And now diamonds are completely overpriced, and there's conspiracies and all that crap behind all that, which I won't get into. But I don't think either of those things in their general sense are worth anything. And you can make all different types of comparisons. Would you rather spend $2,000 on a new 8K TV with ultra high definition and blacks that are darker than actual black and all this and that? Or would you rather spend $2,000 on a used Ninja 250? Something that you can actually use every day. You can get to work, you can actually save money from gas, and get you outdoors, get you learning something new if you've never ridden motorcycles before. You actually get more experiences with it. You can join riding clubs and meet new people and this and that. Or you can buy a TV and sit at home and watch TV, which I tend to do a lot anyway. Or I could take that same $2,000 for that TV and buy a super good computer and still get TV function out of it, pretty much. You buy your TV tuner for your computer, you can put that in there. Yeah, it's not as big and nice quality and all that, but it's still the same functionality in the end. But the computer, I can do a lot more. I have the internet purposes, for me at least. I could make my videos easier. People play games on them without having to buy a separate console and all that. I see computers as a bit better value than TVs, and of course you don't have to spend $2,000 on a PC to make it worth it. But I'm rambling on and off topic again. And I'm not saying experiences are bad or not worth the money. I've definitely had a lot of experiences when I was younger. My aunt would always, anytime I would go out to visit her in the summer, she lived in the Midwest, we'd go on trips. But she made sure they were trips that were, I want to say, I don't know the word, because I was going to say physically intimate. That sounds bad. But they were. You were part of the experience. We went on tours of coal mines where you're physically walking through. One summer I was reading, Tom Sawyer for a school summer reading thing. And we actually went to Missouri and visited the town that Tom Sawyer was based off of, and went through the caves that were mentioned in the book and all this and that. And that was an awesome trip because we were physically a part of it. We were in the caves and we were walking through the towns, and yeah, it was more of a tour guide type of thing, but we were part of all of it. And it wasn't just walking around looking at things, it was experiencing something that you were doing to gain knowledge. So there's practicality and there's positives and negatives to both situations. Experiences are great, but make sure that you actually get something out of the experience besides being able to say, hey, I went here this summer. Or the big thing now is, hey, I went to Coachella. Everyone's talking about that. I personally don't know what that is, besides it's like some type of concert thing, and everyone's all hype about it. And I love going to concerts, but just so I could say, hey, I went to Coachella. Okay, you went to a big festival with a bunch of drunk people and high people, and you probably didn't get to enjoy as much of it as you could have. But that's person to person. And it's the same with things. People are like, oh, we don't need things. I could probably get rid of almost everything I have. Having my bike, my car, a place to live, and like I said, my computer, because I actually use it for a lot of other things than just sitting there and playing games and going on the internet. I make these videos and all that. Things that are functional and sort of retain or hold value. Cars and bikes don't really retain value too well, but I think over a car you actually wind up saving a lot more than anything else. I guess the short and sweet of it is buy things and have experiences, but make sure you're actually getting something out of it that's worth the cost. And things and experiences don't always have to relate to money. Don't think that you have to spend $1,000 on a trip in order for it to be worth it, in order for it to be a good experience. Don't think you have to spend $25,000 on a car in order for it to be comfortable. I mean, as long as you're practical about things, yeah, spending a little bit of extra money sometimes is worth it, and make sure it's worth it, because you might be able to spend that money elsewhere that actually increases your sense of life and your sense of just being in tune with everything. And again, I'm not a perfect example of this. I didn't need to sell my other motorcycle and buy this one. I would have saved probably like $20 a month, and I would have been paid off quicker, and I would have been saving even more. But I find that, well, this bike is more comfortable. This bike is more capable of doing things that will let me have better experiences. When I went up to Maine on the CB300, it was an experience, and it wasn't a bad experience, but it wasn't a great experience. If I went up on this bike, I'm talking about the trip to and from, it would have been a much better experience. But I still did what I did, and I still got to ride around and visit people and explore and hike and fish and do all that. So it wasn't like I didn't have to spend the extra money for a bigger bike to have a good experience. And in normal EastPhilly fashion, I am still rambling on. So I'm going to pretty much end it here, because I'm just kind of rambling and not making as much sense as is probably needed for making this video pretty good and keeping your attention. But let me know in the comments what you think about this. Would you rather spend money on things or experiences? And give an example. Because I understand that most people are going to say it depends, because that is pretty much the only answer that actually works in life anymore. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. If you liked it, give it a like. If you disliked it, give it a dislike. And if you did dislike it, please let me know in the comments why, so I can make this channel better for both you and me. I'm EastPhilly. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all next time.